because this is Coffee and a Podcast.
Good morning.
I don't think it's recording.
Yeah, it's on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good morning.
We're on.
Our first
We are live.
We're on air.
There we go.
Okay.
Well, it is our first podcast.
Yes. Yeah.
So
we
can...
tried this once before. It didn't work out so good.
No,
take 2.
Episode
Take 2. 1.
Episode 1, take 2.
And so we'll introduce you today to our podcast. It's Coffee and a Podcast. And we'll be bringing you inspirational stories, whatever that might be, from all different people, from all different walks of life, from all over the world.
Yeah.
And we also have an email address if you ever want to share a story with us. We would love to hear about your inspiration.
Absolutely.
And what brings you joy and inspiration. And Cheryl-Ann and I are very much alike in the term of energy. We have, we like to share our
She has
energy.
more this morning.
Yeah, not so much. And our email address is coffeeandapodcast with the number 3. Coffee and a podcast spelled out 3, number 3 at gmail.com. So send us a story.
Exactly.
Anyway, I'm going to introduce you to this lovely lady, my friend, cherylannchapman. And she's an amazing, positive person. She's a passionate real estate agent. And if you ever get the chance to sell or buy, you would not be disappointed to use her.
Thank you.
She is moving on to why we are here. And I already told you we're going to be sharing positive experiences and her experiences and mine and other people's. And I know you will enjoy Cheryl-Ann's refreshing and positive take and sense of humor on inspirational topics. Yeah. Yeah. So Cheryl-Ann, that said, you can introduce me.
I will introduce you. This is the wonderful Iris. So I have known Iris, we were trying to figure that out the other day.
A few years.
Like 14 years or something like that. It just feels like yesterday.
It does.
So I met her while I was managing a property in Bellevue. And instantly clicked with her. She's got the cutest smile, the happiest eyes. She is just an amazing owner of Piper Medicine Real Estate. And she is an amazing masseuse. I've had the pleasure of having one of her massages. And oh my gosh, you got to...
I need to interrupt because I feel terrible. I forgot to say that you're with Remax Elite.
Oh yeah,
yes,
that's
I
okay.
am so sorry, Cheryl. We deal with this stuff every day.
More,
so,
yes.
We're having our coffee, so
it's all good. So it's one of those dreary kind of mornings, and so and it's our first podcast, so we can get away with that.
We're getting this motor turning.
Exactly. So she. An amazing masseuse, let me tell you. That's, how do I want to say that? That's a personal thing, and not a lot of people think about that, but a massage is so therapeutic for your body, and it's so important, and she just is amazing that way. So, then I have so much respect for her in so many ways, because she can take anything and make it a meal. She can like rummage through where I'm like, there's nothing in here to eat. Yeah. And she's like, wait a minute now. And she just creates these things that would put Gordon Ramsay to shame.
No.
Every time I come over to her house, she just whips up this little thing, and it's just always amazing tasting.
I love food.
And I eat stuff that I never would normally eat. I'm just like, what? This is what? This is spinach? This is what?
I'm a foodie.
And it's amazing.
That's why.
So no, so I can't say enough. We keep each other in tow. We keep each other in stitches. And we're a lot alike, but then we're opposites, which are great. It's very methodical, very detail driven. Not that I'm not, because we have to be.
She's the funny one.
We have to be detailed in our business with real estate, because that's super important. But I'm a little more flightier. She's more serious.
She's really good at flying by the seat of her pants and good at it. And she's also an excellent decorator.
Thank you.
But
thank you. Look, our little holiday. We got our little
holiday
going on.
I can keep going on about how amazing she is, but you'll come to find out.
But so we're just very, very excited to be able to have this podcast.
To be able to share
to share the stories, to share what happens with us,
Yeah,
and others.
and
That's why emailing us is important if you have a great
yes,
story for us to read on air.
coffee and a podcast
With your
number
permission.
3.
Yes. Number 3. But go ahead.
Um,
So she's going to actually do
I'm going to do a topic today because we're going to share with you different, like I had said earlier, different people that we find interesting or that inspire us. And they, you know, and when we say positive energy, don't worry, we understand that positive energy doesn't always come about easily and willy-nilly and blindly. Sometimes we need to go to therapy. Sometimes we need to get professional help to get to a place where we're happy. And sometimes we figure it out throughout life. But it's always good to have a good attitude. It really does. It's been shown that if you have energy, say like if you're sick, and it's hard sometimes to draw on that if you are sick, you know. But anyway, we hope we share some joy with you. So today, my story is about someone who really inspired me. And my sources for that are the book, the bestseller that he wrote. And his name is Colonel Chris Hadfield. He's an astronaut. He was an astronaut. He's retired. He's an author of 3 books, or 4 books, I'm sorry.
Oh, wow.
An Astronaut's Guide to Life on Earth, and Wikipedia are my sources for this story.
Good to know.
And how I learned about Colonel Chris Hadfield was through my daughter and through Instagram. And what a happy and fascinating astronaut, I thought. What I learned from reading his book is so much determination and being prepared for things. When people are constantly saying to me, "You are overthinking," that is literally what his job was, is to find out what would kill you. So this is my kind of person, you know. What, you know, I love that.
Very easy.
Yes, easy to do. But that's what they do.
Yeah.
And that's what they teach you.
Sorry.
His job was a pilot and an astronaut. The reason his story particularly resonates with me, with people also constantly saying, "Don't manifest that." Oh, that's my pet peeve. Whatever the subject is, that has never been my intention, but I always will naturally like to look at all the possibilities and outcome, just like a samurai warrior that goes into battle considering all his options.
Yeah.
As for Colonel Chris Hadfield, his book and his story is a delight to read. It is very inspirational to me. As someone who has undergone medical tests, which include being in small spaces and holding still for 15 minutes at a time without moving, and other types of small spaces, it can be uncomfortable for me. So I kind of channel my inner astronaut, and I think about what these astronauts go through and all the tests they go through and all the small, tight spaces. Yeah, and they're out in space.
I get claustrophobia because I've went through an MRI before.
Yeah.
And
it is. It's very.
Because I'm like, what if it I mean, of course, like the metal thing would never collapse the
MRI
machine.
You don't know.
But in small spaces, I'm always like, where's the out? You know? And I just.
Oh no.
I'm not a small.
I have spent way too much time in them, and it's uncomfortable. It's definitely uncomfortable.
So my hat's off to him.
So I say to myself, what would my favorite astronaut do? I feel good and reassured that he can do it, then be brave and make it through the tests, then so can I. So I do channel that. So Colonel Chris Hadfield was born to Eleanor and Roger Hadfield in Sarnia, Ontario, Canada in 1959. He was raised on a farm in southern Ontario. He became interested in flying at a young age and also becoming an astronaut. So that was his dream, and you can find out more about that in his book. I'm not going to read you out his whole autobiography. He married his high school girlfriend, Helene, and had 3 children. He became a test pilot in the 80s and did various technical training throughout his life before becoming an astronaut.
Wow.
His experience is too much to mention in this podcast, but just know that if you read about him, you will learn of his impressive record and what it looks like for him to get where he was going. It was pretty hard. Why is Chris Hadfield so popular? In 1995, in 1995, Chris Hadfield became the first Canadian to walk in space.
That's
and
a
the
big
first, deal. It's so big for the Canadians. And we
Oh
just
my
live
gosh.
2.5 hours away from them, so it's a big
Yeah,
deal.
we're so close.
We're practically Canadian.
I have Canadian earmuffs. Does that make me Canadian?
And I've been to
Hey?
Canada so much.
I
I mean, they might as
love
well
Canada, but
adopt
that's
me.
another topic for
Yeah,
another
right.
podcast because
Yeah.
love the little
And the first
squirrels over
astronaut
there.
to operate the Canada arm. He has flown in 3 missions, built 2 space stations, that's huge, performed 2
Wow.
spacewalks, crewed the shuttle and the Soyuz, and in 2013 became the commander of the International Space Station for 6 months off planet. He was
That's
also very
incredible.
famous for all of his photographs that he took while in space. And he's also a musician whom I had the honor to see in Seattle at the Museum of Flight
How cool.
with fellow astronauts.
I mean, to meet
I
someone that you
know.
have so much
And I
admiration
did get to meet him, and it was lovely.
and respect, that is amazing.
He's such a down-to-earth guy. Oh, that's funny. Down-to-earth? No.
Yeah. Oh, thinking of, yeah.
So, and when he was in space, he also became famous for contacting David Bowie and getting his permission. And he did a rendition of Major Tom. And he filmed it with him singing it and playing guitar in space. And
does he have a good voice?
Yes, and with
and he actually really plays the guitar.
Yeah, he does.
Wow.
Like I saw their band with these astronauts, and
how cool.
Yeah.
What was their name? What's the band's name?
Bandela. Well, I
Bandela?
think they go through phases with different astronauts where they name
okay.
them different things. But when I
Gotcha.
saw him this
It was
past
called Bandela?
summer, it was Bandela.
How cool is that?
He's won many awards and inspires many with his space experiences and amazing determination to get things done. As I read his book, he had struggles, and everything is a process. When I watched him do Space Oddity, I wept because when you think about somebody floating up in space and the troubles they go through, and that they might never make it home, and that,
oh yeah, you're gonna make me cry. So much can happen.
So much can happen, and these are true explorers. Not only do they train for this, and there was one scenario, and they trained through Houston. Houston's a real thing. He went out on his first spacewalk, and his helmet, he became blind right away. Like something got in his eyes, and he had to call Houston.
Weird.
And he didn't want to abort the mission because he had to go fix, or tinker with Canadarm, I think.
Can you imagine being out in space?
Yeah,
and
all of a sudden you're blind.
And you're blind?
And you're like, okay, what do I do?
Wow. And there's only one other person?
Out there with him, and he didn't want to call him over. So he said, Houston.
Didn't want to panic him.
He didn't want to panic, and he was trying not to panic, and he called Houston.
Houston,
we have a problem.
That's one of my favorite little phrases.
I know, right? I think it's everyone's.
This is where it came from.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Houston, I have a problem. And they figured it out that it was the cleaner that they had used to clean the inside of the helmet, the glass, or whatever composite it is. I don't know.
Just like a Windex or just like something
Who
like
knows?
that.
Whatever it was, it made him blind temporarily. And they did some sort of venting of the toxic out of his space helmet, and then he could eventually see again. But wow, what a close call. So they have a lot of close calls out there.
That's crazy because
once you get lost in space, you're
lost.
You're toast. But anyway,
you're gone. It's not like the movies where you magically end up on somewhere else. But I mean, just think about that, because when you're up in space, and then of course your weight changes. How it ages your body, right?
Oh,
it ages
does.
your body. So it's really, I mean, right there, they take their personal risk, not only in that, but how it breaks down their body. But just, I mean, those little things, who would have thought that just cleaning that glass would fog it up and make it to where he couldn't see?
The good thing is that it happened to him, because his philosophy is that when these things happen, then they can share it with future astronauts, it doesn't happen to them. And it's really
like our podcast.
It's a learning curve.
We'll be helping other people.
Don't do this, have a sip of coffee.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, and they train for a long time, these astronauts. And sometimes things come up where they're like, oh, you might not be able to get to go because you have this medical condition, and all of a sudden it popped up out of nowhere. and you have to get cleared and green
Yeah.
lighted, and you've trained your whole life for this, and then all of a sudden,
I can't
but
imagine the
he
G-force
did go.
alone. That
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
that would
yeah,
just be.
yeah.
Uh, yeah,
Yeah,
I don't do roller
that's beyond
coasters,
me.
so I don't think I
Anyway,
could do space.
I want to
So
say
good.
thank you, Colonel Chris
Yes,
Hadfield, for sharing your stories with the world. Keep
absolutely.
on keeping on, and I'll look forward to reading his other books when I can. I've got such a big list of
Well,
books
you
to
brought
read.
up the video. So
Oh,
where's
the
that
video,
video? You
Space
said so.
Oddity.
It's
So you can look it up, I think,
it's
on
on YouTube.
YouTube or something, where you
It's just
can.
our
Oh,
local UPS
you can look
guy.
it up on YouTube, Oddity. Colonel Chris Hadfield
Cool.
singing.
So he's singing and playing with the
Yeah,
music in the
yeah.
background.
Well, he sings it, actually sings it. So, and it's perfect.
And then
It's
music.
wonderful.
Wow, I'll
And
have to
and
check
he's
that out.
floating around, and it's just amazing. It
Wow.
was very inspirational to me.
See, I love stuff like that
I do too.
because, um,
Our fellow explorers.
well, yeah, I mean, what they go through just for us. I mean, they're the
Hmm.
guinea pigs that go through everything to
They
make us
do.
have a better life,
Yeah.
to understand. Now, I don't know if I ever would want to live on the moon, but you never
Yeah,
know. I mean, because
that's
I like my
true.
trees, but there might
Yeah,
be
I
a
do
point in
too.
time when we have to go
Well,
live on the
maybe we
moon.
can
So,
terraform the moon. Who knows? I'm not
yeah,
sure
I
how
don't
that would
know.
change everything.
But
But
it's amazing because then you think of the sacrifice in his
mhm.
family. So he had how many
Oh,
kids?
3, and it was a sacrifice because they
Yeah,
had to always wait for their dad, but they
yeah.
but they were all very supportive. His wife
Oh,
was
that's good.
amazing. And he did a lot of training. I think he speaks some Russian too, because he had to
Oh,
fly the Soyuz as a Russian spacecraft to get
oh,
back.
wow,
And he works well with, the Russian cosmonauts. And
wow.
it's just such
That's
a
so
remarkable,
cool.
I just can't say
I'm
enough
glad that
good
he's so
stuff.
humble because
Oh, and then
that's so cool.
they get to do these special requests while they're before they go to space. Like, and NASA cannot always fill it, but they try. Like, there's this one lady that was in the band who was this amazing flute player,
Oh yeah.
and she got to play with Jethro Tull,
Oh
like,
wow.
and jam with him. And I can't remember who he jammed with, but it's like they try to fulfill it,
Yeah.
because these people, you may never see them again, they may never come back to Earth.
Exactly.
So it's a big sacrifice, like you said, and it's a
Yeah,
good
that's a
thing.
huge
But
thing.
it's
So
fun.
that's
It's
cool.
inspirational people that are all around us, whether
Exactly.
you're an astronaut, a teacher, you know we're going to talk about so many people on this
Hmm.
podcast, and the things that they've done and the obstacles they've overcome. I mean, we won't give you the whole autobiography or biography on them, but it's
Yeah,
it's nice to introduce, different people. And
absolutely.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
I can't wait. I know you already have like this long
I
list, and
do, but it's a lot of homework. It's
I,
like, what have
I
I gotten myself
oh,
into?
I know, but
So
it's
yeah.
great because it's great to be able to give these
Mm,
people props that inspire us every day, that help
yes,
move us to the next level.
yes,
So
it
I'm really
does.
excited to be able to do this, and if we gonna get all weepy eyed, if we can help anybody at all, that would just be amazing,
Hmm.
because life isn't perfect.
No, it's
We're
not.
not perfect.
How did you get your mic
Every
to stand up so straight? Mine's
because
all
I
turned.
went and double.
Mine's all like
I have
sideways.
thicker material, I think, and the way I just.
Oh, I was
These
like,
are really fun little mics, but the problem
well, it
is they
doesn't
make the little
rotate. Oh, I
picture. Yeah, they
see.
don't rotate,
Oh, weird.
and the pincher is really really tiny. I mean, and I've got
Podcast 101 learning
yeah, exactly. So,
here with us today.
oh, and I have my little bit of I don't know if you can see my
Oh,
leggings, my
so
little fun little
cute. Oh, how
Christmas
is your
lights.
holiday preparation coming?
Well, just look.
I
Here we
know.
go.
Sherilyn is amazing at decorating.
I love the
I could just live
holidays.
right here and be happy.
So love the holidays. Oh,
Oh,
which we just went to a holiday event at El Gaucho
oh,
in
how was
Seattle.
that?
Oh, amazing. I will tell you, it's a little bit more on the expensive side.
Yeah.
So since this was a corporate event, it was more like $85 a person. But be prepared to spend $100 per
I
person.
wouldn't mind trying it. I've been to the
But
one in Bellevue. I mean, I don't get out that
it
much,
is
but it would be nice,
amazing. The
really.
food was amazing.
Yeah.
The staff, I was just like, I felt spoiled. I mean, they're just
Wow.
there all the time, but not annoying.
Catering
So
to
they're
you.
just
Yeah,
catering to
yeah,
us. I mean,
yeah.
They wouldn't let me put my coat on.
Wow.
They paid for our valet, which was really, really nice.
Wow.
The food was incredible.
Yeah.
And then just the ambiance, and then
Yeah.
they have these really cool shelves that they actually kind of look like a tree because they're kind of V'd in the way they're V'd, that the way the bottles go. Anyway, it's
Oh,
kind of hard to
wow.
explain.
Yeah.
And they have a big fire pit in the
Wow.
middle of it that people can sit around. That might be a little bit too hot to sit around and enjoy
But when
your
it's
thing.
snowing
But
out, I wish
yeah,
it will
exactly.
be.
No, so it was great. I would definitely
We both
recommend
live
that.
outside of Seattle. So
Yeah,
it does snow. It rains a lot, but it's beautiful here. I mean,
yes.
I've traveled to a lot of states with my daughter being off at college and for the last 5.5 years. And every time I come home, I'm so grateful that we live in the Evergreen
Oh
State.
yeah,
It's,
me too. Me too.
I
It's
mean, do we need to get away sometimes to some sunshine after a while? Yeah, I do.
yeah.
But
Oh, need the sunshine, but it's in the background, the
yeah,
light, because
yeah, yeah,
the light, you feed off the light.
you really do.
You were gonna before we get
Yeah,
onto that.
yeah.
So, do you guys know what pod in podcast stands for? She's gonna let you know.
I'm not. I don't know.
Yeah,
I just
portable
read
on
it
demand,
portable,
or
portable on demand.
portable on demand, or what was the other one? It's portable on demand, or oh my gosh, I gotta
I
get my
only
glasses.
read it once. And you wrote it down. Wow. Oh,
Portable on demand,
it
play on
says
demand.
low battery.
This says I have low battery.
So we might have to pause.
Nope, there we go. We're
Okay.
back. Sorry.
Well, then I should get on.
We're gonna
we're gonna buzz ahead because we're gonna lose battery.
Yeah, we were charged up, but
now we're uncharged.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna like our little ending of our podcast will be each other will be saying some inspirational quotes from different people, and take it away.
I guess the real fact. Oh, this one I got from Positive Energy _plus on Instagram. That's the credit goes to. I guess the real fact of the matter is we don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, and the only thing we really have is right now. So don't stay angry for too long and learn to forgive. Love your friends and family with all your heart. Have fun and live your life the way you want to live it. Most of all, don't worry about people that don't like you and enjoy the ones who do.
There you go.
And that definitely comes with age too. You know, like
I would have known that.
Yeah, exactly.
20s.
Well, that's one. Oh, I love this one. I hope we have enough battery.
That's from the same place, same positive.
Yes, thank you.
Plus.
I have to give credits _ is because the world has been unkind to them and they don't want other people to feel the way they did.
Oh,
Very
wow.
nice.
Yeah, that is a good one.
And I think that's all we might have time for before we go on.
Try one more. 3.
Oh, you think so?
3 is a good number.
Okay.
Let's do one more.
3. When you help other people, you help yourself. It's impossible not to feel great when you do good for other people.
That's yes, I love giving back, gratitude,
yeah.
and that's a big part of our podcast. I'm so much grateful to be grateful for. We'll tell that on another story.
We're going to do a microcast after they charge the phone back up.
Yeah, we're going to talk about safety. So if
holiday safety.
If you guys want to
tune in for that,
If
not,
we're going to cheers off to our first
to
official
coffee and a podcast.
And don't forget to root for yourself, your darn self. And then, yes, until
morning, beautiful. Like
of
to
course.
all of you.
I know, the bummer thing on that, this one is bull-sided. I do not know why they didn't put that on the other side. So anyway, so we are wishing you guys a great
podcast.
Yes, a great day. Coffee and Podcast 3 at gmail.com. And you guys be good to yourself and have a great day.
And you can find us on Instagram too.
Oh, yep.
YouTube and TikTok now.